What is up? I'm Warren Freeman here with Warren's Vlog. This is episode 48, and this has been a hell of a week in the WWE. Survivor Series is this Sunday. I'm late. I just watched SmackDown. It was Tuesday. You work a lot of overtime. You work a lot of hours, so that's what I do. I work most of the time, like Rihanna. Work. All right. Enough of that. Before I get into my Survivor Series predictions, I want to take an opportunity to talk about um, three Survivor Series tag team matches. Try to say that three times fast. Three of my personal favorites that I've enjoyed. I'll rattle those off real quickly. The first one I'm going to talk about is Survivor Series 2001, Team Alliance versus Team WWF at the time. Granted, the build to that was pretty shitty. It's probably one of the worst booking angles in the history of the WWE, the way they booked the invasion. But that Survivor Series match, the way that ended was just awesome. I mean, even though you had Team Alliance, you still had a stack of guys: Booker T, RVD, Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon, who's also on this year's Survivor Series team as well. Led by Austin, taking on the Undertaker, Kane, Rock, Jericho. I mean, Big Show. Just those five alone, it's just a lot of stacked talent on one team. That was an enjoyable match. It got to continue. It got to basically finish off the Rock and Austin feud from WrestleMania 17. So it was nice to see it come down to those two, and those two started it. Um, I wavered between the Raw 4-on-4 tag from 2004 and Team Austin versus Team Bischoff, but I decided to go with Team Austin versus Team Bischoff simply because that was, as JR or King had put it that night, that was the biggest match in Stone Cold's career, and he wasn't even in it. You had a great showing from Shawn Michaels taking on Chris Jericho, and Randy Orton at the end. Michaels had a fantastic showing in that match. Of course, it ended with Batista interfering and Batista bomb, and then Randy getting the pin on Shawn Michaels. But that was another one of my favorite Survivor Series tag team matches. And the last one I'm going to talk about real quick is a more current one from 2014, where it was Team Authority versus Team Cena. Now, what I liked about, wow, my video just kind of froze. I hope I don't have to do this video again. That would suck. What I liked about Team Cena versus Team Authority was, like with the Survivor Series match from 2001, the storyline was shit. The Authority storyline was good. At that point it had ran its course. I mean, this was like a year into the Authority angle, and just to see that end, even though it was briefly, even though it ended for like 2 months, when the damn Authority came back, and that match is iconic for another reason. Of course, Sting made his WWE debut at the end of that match. And that was a win for Ziggler, too. That's when they were pushing Ziggler again. And then, they stopped pushing Ziggler. But now they're pushing Ziggler again. But then they just stopped pushing Ziggler because Miz just won on SmackDown. But I'll get to that. Actually, I'll go ahead and get to that now because that's the first match I'm going to talk about at Survivor Series this Sunday. Miz versus Sami Zayn. Miz versus, wait. I wrote Miz down. Oh, well, that's because Ziggler lost the title to Miz on SmackDown. I don't get it. Like, I don't get this push for Ziggler and then this halting stop every time. Push stop. That's how they book Ziggler, man. I don't know. I was looking forward to seeing Ziggler versus Sami Zayn. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for everyone else here that's watching the video or not watching the video, or anybody else on the internet or all over the world. But me personally, I was looking forward to Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn. I personally thought that would have been a better match. That being said, Miz has done fantastic work lately with Ziggler. This entire year since he's been the Intercontinental Champion, the night after WrestleMania, Miz has, in my opinion, has done fantastic work. I just think that Ziggler and Sami Zayn might have been a better match. Now, given what's announced right now, it's Miz versus Sami Zayn, and I'm going with Sami Zayn as the person to win that match. However, Dolph Ziggler is still owed a title shot. So who knows? This might become a triple threat match. But if this does become a triple threat match, I'm still sticking with Sami Zayn as the person that's going to win the Intercontinental title, and Sami Zayn is going to bring that title over to Raw. I'm going somewhere with this. Just bear with me. Kendrick versus Kalisto. Kalisto is going to win the Cruiserweight title and bring that over to Raw. Now, you're probably thinking, Warren, what are you doing? Like, how are you making these predictions? You're like, you got the Intercontinental title going to Raw. You got the Cruiserweight title going, or I'm sorry, the Intercontinental title going back to Raw. You have the Cruiserweight title going to SmackDown. This is my theory. I think you're going to have both the Intercontinental and the U.S. title on Raw momentarily. Roman Reigns is going to lose that title eventually. You know, you can't keep Roman strong all the time. I don't know. I guess they find a way to keep Roman looking strong regardless. But I think what's going to eventually happen is I think with the Intercontinental title being on Raw, when Sami Zayn brings it to Raw, also that's going to elevate Sami Zayn as being the person to have done that. With the U.S. title also being on Raw, I think Roman Reigns is eventually going to lose that title to someone on SmackDown. Okay, so now Kalisto is going to bring the Cruiserweight title and the Cruiserweight division back to SmackDown. So you see what I'm doing here? Basically, we're going to have the SmackDown roster like it used to be. Eventually, when Reigns loses the title to someone on SmackDown, you'll have the U.S. title on SmackDown. You'll have the Cruiserweight title on SmackDown like it used to be. And you'll have the Intercontinental Championship back on Raw. Because if you notice, everybody keeps stressing about bringing the Intercontinental title home. So, there you go. That's my predictions for those two matches, and that's the reason why. This 10-man tag team clusterfuck, I'm sorry, that's what it's going to be. It's just going to be a clusterfuck. It's going to be 5 teams, and it's just going to be chaotic. And based on the way that both Raw and SmackDown have booked their tag team division, they haven't really booked them to where you have Raw's looking better or SmackDown's looking better. They both look equally as good. So my prediction, honestly, is, I mean, fuck it, just pick a name out of the hat type predictions. I'm just gonna pick SmackDown. I have no reason for picking SmackDown, other than the fact you have the Anderson and Gallows, the only tag team that's kind of like not going to play fair with the rest of the people on the team, and that could cause dissension within the team, and SmackDown could easily take advantage of that. So, yeah, I'm picking SmackDown to win that. Okay, now, this is what I'm going to have to break down, because we have 3 other Survivor Series matches, and yes, I'm using my phone. I'm cheating, because I'm not going to remember everyone on that team, so I'm going to use my phone. I'm going to look at it. All right. First up, we have the Divas. So let's go over that team real quick. From Team Raw, we have Charlotte, Bayley, Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, and Sasha. And I guess Dana Brooke. It says with Dana. I'm reading from Wikipedia. It says with Dana Brooke. So I guess Dana Brooke's going to be at ringside for that. Which I guess makes sense because you have Natalya as the coach. Which, let me say, Natalya is doing some of the best work that she's done in years, in my opinion, on SmackDown. Natalya as the coach is just, it's so funny. It's funny. And it's like, yes, she's a heel, but it's one of those heels you can laugh at, but not laugh at to make fun of, to laugh to appreciate how good Natalya is in her position as the coach. Oh, man. So, that's Team Raw. Team SmackDown, you have Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, the Staten Island Princess, Carmella, and Naomi. And the thing with Carmella, and I like I said, I just finished watching SmackDown. Carmella is starting to grow on me. She is. And honestly, their match, Nikki Bella versus Carmella from SmackDown, was not bad. It wasn't like a 5-star classic, but given the story that we're trying to tell, they told a hell of a story. I really like how Carmella went after Nikki Bella's neck. And that told a story in itself. Well, is Nikki Bella going to be healthy enough to lead Team SmackDown? That told a story. And then you had the Divas from Raw interfere and basically cause a cause a no contest. Which and the thing is, I picked Team Raw for that as the team that is going to win. I just think that Raw has, personally, it seems like Raw has not better talent per se, but it just I think it's gonna come down to Sasha and Charlotte, and they're gonna do that whole thing where they don't get along, but somehow it works, like it happened on Raw with Alicia Fox and Nia Jax, and everyone's talking about Nia Jax as this force for Team Raw. Um, Hopefully Nia Jax doesn't spear the fucking barricade again in Survivor Series. I'm sorry. Oh my god! If you watch SmackDown, Nia Jax just speared the barricade. It just took herself out of the match. And honestly, I could see that happening at Survivor Series. I think, and I'm calling it now. Nia Jax is gonna get counted out or disqualified for just beating bitches up. That's probably what's gonna happen because I don't think they're gonna have or they're not gonna have Nia Jax pinned because you want to keep someone like that looking strong. Same thing with Braun Strowman. I'll get to that later. Actually, I'll cover Braun Strowman now. I think that Braun Strowman and Nia Jax are going to both be eliminated from that match because of a DQ. Maybe Nia Jax will spear the barricade and get herself counted out. Okay. And then maybe Braun Strowman will just get disqualified. Maybe he doesn't listen to the referee's 5 count and he's disqualified and eliminated. Um, I think that's how they're going to book those two. That's how they should book those two. Um, that being said, Braun Strowman's a beast. I'm going to get to that match. I don't want to skip ahead. I'm going to talk about Braun Strowman in a minute. Um, that's the Divas. They're actually, there's only 6 matches on this card. Fuck it, I'll just go to Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. I've covered the Divas pretty much. Let's see here. Yeah, I've covered the Divas. All right. Yeah, well, I'm picking Team Raw to win that. That's just my opinion on that one. Now, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. I keep forgetting there's like 6 matches. So, all right, I talked about Strowman. Let me just say that Strowman has been, in my opinion, my favorite person in this entire match. With the exception of Shane McMahon, which anyone who knows me knows I'm a Shane McMahon mark. So obviously Shane McMahon's my favorite. But besides Shane McMahon, Braun Strowman has been my personal favorite person in this entire match. Just his character. I like how his character is being built up. I like how on Raw, when Jericho tried to give him a scarf, Braun Strowman was like, "I want your scarf," and Jericho gave it to him, and then he just rips it. Like I laughed hysterically, probably more than I should have, but it's just little things that get me. Like the way they have built Braun Strowman up has been absolutely amazing. Even in that melee on Raw, how Strowman was just tossing AJ Styles around. How Strowman was just like even the week before, he was just tossing Rollins and tossing Jericho and just tossing his own team members around. Like Strowman doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to hurt people. And again, it's going to be interesting to see how Bray and actually, let me go ahead and give you the members for the respective teams for Raw and for SmackDown. Okay, for Team Raw, the co-captains for Team Raw, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, are best friends, and that's just it. They even hugged each other on Raw to prove that. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, team captains. Roman Reigns, the United States champion. Braun Strowman and Seth frickin' Rollins. That's Team Raw. Team SmackDown. Oh, Kevin Owens is the WWE Universal Champion. I should have mentioned that. SmackDown, AJ Styles, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Shane McMahon with James Ellsworth with James Ellsworth, and that is important, whether you want to believe it or not, because James Ellsworth is. I'm not going to say he's the most over thing on SmackDown right now, but he's the most over thing on SmackDown right now. So, that being said, I'm picking Team Raw to win this match. The reason being is that James Ellsworth is going to do something stupid, and he's going to cost Team SmackDown the match. Another reason why I'm picking Team Raw to win is because the last two times that there's been a Raw versus SmackDown main event Survivor Series match, SmackDown has won. Let's look at the history. Survivor Series 2005, Team Raw versus Team Randy Orton being the sole survivor over Shawn Michaels. Um, okay, that was bragging rights, not Survivor Series. I stand corrected. But both bragging right matches, SmackDown has won. Okay, of course, Big Show turned on Team Raw because Big Show and Jericho were tag team champions. Big Show was on SmackDown, Jericho's on Raw. They turned, SmackDown won that match because of Big Show. In 2010, Edge, who was just on SmackDown yesterday, pinned The Miz for SmackDown to once again beat Raw. So actually, on three separate occasions, SmackDown has beaten Raw. And those last two matches were at bragging rights back in 2009 and 2010. So Monday Night Raw is due for a win here. And the perfect reason to do it is because of James Ellsworth. He's going to do something. Maybe he gets involved. He's the mascot, but you know he's going to do something stupid. So that's how I think that match is going to play out. That being said, that is going to be a hell of a match to watch because you have Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman going at it. You have Seth Rollins and AJ Styles possibly going at it. You have Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose over here, but then you have, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins over here, and then you have Dean Ambrose on the opposing team. So you have the Shield. I think it would not surprise me if it came down to Dean Ambrose standing alone for Team SmackDown, and you have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins standing alone for Raw. That would not surprise me. And then that's when you cue Ambrose doing something stupid. You know, maybe Ambrose is distracted by Ellsworth or something, spear by Roman Reigns, because we're going to make Roman Reigns look strong. Fuck Kevin Owens, even though he's a WWE Universal Champion. That's not my opinion. That's how it's being presented on Raw. Even though Kevin Owens is the Raw WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns still has to look strong because Roman Reigns always looks strong. So it's gonna. I think, my opinion, Dean Ambrose, like I said, stands alone for SmackDown. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins stands alone for Raw. Ellsworth does something stupid. Ambrose gets distracted. Maybe Rollins gets taken out by Ambrose, but that's what's gonna happen. Ellsworth is gonna distract Reigns. Ellsworth is going to distract Ambrose. Reigns capitalizes with a spear. 1, 2, 3. Team Raw wins. Roman Reigns looks strong. Ooh. Okay. Well, we're done here. That's all the matches I have left. So I'm going to leave now. Oh, wait. There's another match. Sorry. Hold up. Wait. No, there's another match. I forgot. Wait. Oh, Brock versus God. Brock versus Goldberg. Oh, my God. Brock Lesnar versus Bill Goldberg. Do we really have to revisit this again? Do we really have to revisit this again? Do we, WWE? You have to be that nostalgic that we have to fucking revisit this again? Why? Okay. So, history lesson for Brock and Goldberg. 2004, 2003. We're going to go back to 2003. Brock Lesnar is the WWE, or the Undisputed Champion. Bill Goldberg is the World Heavyweight Champion, representing Raw. Lesnar representing SmackDown. There was a little confrontation at Survivor Series, once. Because remember, Lesnar lost at Survivor Series. He tapped out to Chris Benoit, but you're not supposed to remember that. Do not remember Chris Benoit. Don't remember it. but he did tap out. He tapped Lesnar in Survivor Series 2003. All right, so Lesnar lost. He's, and Lesnar's getting interviewed, basically saying that he didn't lose. And Goldberg walks up to him with his World Heavyweight title. Hi, I'm Bill Goldberg. Ho, 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 ho. Goes off later on in the night, defeats Triple H, retaining his title. Loses to Triple H in Armageddon because evolution is a mystery full of change, and rest in peace, Lemmy. Rest in fucking peace. So, Goldberg is no longer World Heavyweight Champion. Brock Lesnar is still the Undisputed Champion because SmackDown didn't have a pay-per-view in December because the brand extension was alive back in then. So, we go to Royal Rumble 2004. And, Brock Lesnar is being interviewed after defeating Hardcore Holly. And, I don't remember who the interviewer was, but, actually, I'm wrong. Yeah. The interviewer was either talking to Goldberg or Lesnar. It doesn't fucking matter. One of them was getting interviewed, and I think Brock Lesnar interrupted and said, hey, why are you interviewing Goldberg? You should be interviewing me, because I just beat Hardcore Holly. And then it did his Brock thing, and Goldberg said something, blah, 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 you're a coward, blah, 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 blah. Mick Foley's not a coward because they were doing the whole Randy Orton Mick Foley thing at the 2004 Royal Rumble. So, they talk shit. Anyway, Goldberg enters the Rumble. Spears Nunzio. And you have to watch the Royal Rumble 2004 to see this spear on Nunzio because it is one of the funniest things you'll ever see. He kills Nunzio with the spear. He spears everybody. And the thing, and the spear, and the jackhammer, and he's actually going to jackhammer Big Show, right? And then Lesnar shows up. And Jim Ross is angry that Lesnar showed up because Brock Lesnar, by God, is not in the Royal Rumble match. What the hell is going on? By God. F5's Bill Goldberg. Gets out of the ring. Goldberg looks at him angrily. Like, oh. And then Kurt Angle eliminates Bill Goldberg. All right. So, Goldberg's pissed off because Lesnar interfered in the Royal Rumble. And on Raw, Goldberg's talking shit. You're next. Brock Lesnar is next every week. Brock Lesnar is next every week. Now, No Way Out 2004, which now I'm going to, and I feel like this is appropriate for me to bring up this event only because anniversary of Eddie's death was like 3 days ago, and obviously this particular event was a highlight for that. Eddie Guerrero became the WWE champion by defeating Brock Lesnar, but I hate to taint that, but it flows into what I'm talking about with Goldberg Lesnar. So Eddie Guerrero did defeat Brock Lesnar in No Way Out 2004 with help from Bill Goldberg, and let me just describe to you how stupid this was. Not that Eddie won the title. That was a momentous night for him, and Eddie Guerrero more than anybody deserved that. But the pay-per-view basically started, Goldberg was in the crowd because Stone Cold Steve Austin gave him a ticket. And, Goldberg, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Goldberg shows up at No Way Out. He's sitting in the crowd, and then they talk shit. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. And then Goldberg gets in the ring and gives him a jackhammer. And then Goldberg is arrested. And what's so phony about this is as Goldberg is being arrested, he's in handcuffs, he's being carried out, and they're playing Goldberg's music. And this is what I can't stand about the WWE sometimes. Like, if you're going to get arrested, and we know it's a work. I know it's a work. But it's like, if you're going to get arrested, make it look real. Somewhat. Like, when Austin stunned McMahon... Well, no, they played his music then, too. But that was even more real in the Garden. When Austin stunned McMahon and they arrested him. But they still played his music going out. But I hate that. But when Austin got arrested, I'll give you another example. Because Austin gets arrested all the time. The thing with Kurt Angle. When, Austin was throwing the beers at the cops. At the cops, because it's a work. But they were throwing the beer cans at the cops, right? And then Kurt Angle gets in the ring and says, if you do it again, we're going to arrest you. And then they arrested him. And it looked kind of real. It kind of did. They didn't play his music. They didn't do any. No, they just arrested him. They put him in cuffs. It looked legit. The Stephanie thing, when she got arrested, looked a little bit legit. just a little bit. It was still kind of phony, but it looked legit. Um, this thing with Goldberg, as he's being arrested and he's being carted out in cuffs, and they're playing his music, it doesn't look legitimate. It doesn't look like it should be bought in as, oh my god, Goldberg's getting arrested. And then later on in the show, Goldberg comes back, and my computer went with this fucking screensaver. Goldberg comes back, spears Lesnar. Eddie Guerrero hits the DDT in the WWE title, hits the Frog Splash. Eddie Guerrero is the WWE champion. So, in the weeks building up to WrestleMania 20, Brock's still pissed for whatever reason, but Brock's really pissed that he lost the WWE title. And he gets on his knees on SmackDown and he says he wants Bill Goldberg. You have to watch it. It's pathetic. It's so funny. You have to watch it. And then Vince McMahon says, "Oh, I mean, this is Brock and Goldberg. This is, I mean, really what he's saying. This is not what he's saying, but this is really what he's saying. Oh, Brock and Goldberg. This is gonna suck. I mean, there's no way Brock and Goldberg, that's gonna suck. So we're gonna put a Stone Cold Steve Austin as a referee." That's what he said in the board meeting. But what he said on camera was that something along the lines of, not even the 82nd Airborne can control Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg. So cue Austin. And, oh, man. Brock versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 20 has the candidate of being one of the worst WrestleMania matches. Nope, Yokozuna versus Hulk Hogan was worse. That's still not getting beat on my show, and you have to watch my vlogs to get that joke. But it is up there as one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time, only because it was so underwhelming. I mean, and I take you back to 2004 Warren. Imagine me a little bit younger without a beard, and basically without a beard I look pretty much the same. But imagine me younger. I am just excited. Brock and Goldberg. I just, they're both like mega athletes. I'm so excited. I'm like a little Mark. Brock and Goldberg. And then I sit down and I watch WrestleMania 20, and it was actually WrestleMania 20 special to me because it was one of the first WrestleManias that I actually sat down and watched from start to finish. So imagine me younger. I'm amped up. Brock versus Goldberg. Ooh, I can't wait to see it. Brock Goldberg, because I'm a little kid, I'm a little Mark. And then I watch it, and it's just Brock standing there. And it's Goldberg doing this. Ah! Ah! And Brock doing this. Ah! Ah! And Austin standing there like this. And then Brock taunting. And then Goldberg, ah! Ah! And then Austin like, okay, let's fight now. That was the match. And I'm exaggerating, but that was the match. That was it. Go check it out on the network. You know what? Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to the network and watch WrestleMania 20 and watch Brock Lesnar versus Bill Goldberg. I dare you. Go right on ahead. Because you can't even get to Benoit, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels because Benoit's blocked out. So you might as well go ahead and watch Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg from WrestleMania 20. Go right on ahead. Get your free subscription and watch that match. Because that's going to get you amped up for Survivor Series this Sunday. No, it won't. No, it won't. Don't watch that match. I wouldn't wish that on any of you. Brock and Goldberg was just pathetic. It was... And the thing, what I liked about Lesnar's interview... Actually, I like Lesnar's sit-down interviews because he really doesn't give a shit. He just swears and says whatever he wants to say. But Lesnar pretty much admitted in this interview, and one of the video packages that Joe probably will show this Sunday, Lesnar, in so many words, basically said he didn't give a shit about the WWE at that point. And you could tell. Both men were leaving. It was known that both men were leaving, so you know how New York is. That was in New York. You know how New York crowds are at. They were shitting on the match because they were both leaving. And they decided to go out and shit the bed because they were both leaving. And there was no repercussions that either of them could face from it because they were both leaving. So that's exactly what they did. They taunted. Goldberg stuck his tongue out. Lesnar stuck his tongue out. And there was an F5. Goldberg kicked out. There was a spear. and it was a jackhammer, and it was a 3 count. And the best part of that entire match, and it wasn't even a part of the match, was seeing Austin stun Goldberg. That was it. The that's an iconic moment in itself because we never got to see Stone Cold versus Goldberg, but you at least got to see Austin Stunner Goldberg, and that was about as close as you're gonna get to Stone Cold versus Goldberg. Um, like I said, I hated that match even as a little kid, and actually, I kind of want to just go back and watch it now, just to shit on it again. I think I'm. You know what? I'm gonna watch Brock and Goldberg from WrestleMania 20. I am, just because. And I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna watch this Sunday, and I'm gonna compare it, and it's I just for fun because maybe I like punishment. So yeah, clearly I like punishment because I've watched WrestleMania 9 and 11. So why not watch Brock and Goldberg? That's gonna be on my weekend. I'm gonna watch Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg from WrestleMania 20 just to punish myself because I have nothing else better to do. Okay, so now that I'm done with my rant about the past, let's try to focus on the future. Let's try to be a little bit optimistic and let's focus on the future. So, how does this start in 2016? Goldberg goes on SportsCenter and basically says, "Well, I beat him. My last match was against Brock Lesnar, and I mean, if I were to come back, he'd be the guy I don't want to face." So this pisses off Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar gets angry and says something. Then Goldberg says something. And the next thing you know, we have a main event match for Survivor Series, and that pisses me off. The fact that this is going to main event, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I am hoping that they keep the focus on Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. I'm hoping that maybe they have Brock and Goldberg in the middle of the show. All the Goldberg marks gets, they get their marquee moment for Goldberg, and then we get to the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, which should main event. But I'm preparing myself for Brock and Goldberg to main event because as much as I would personally like to see Team Raw and Team SmackDown main event, even though I feel that is more important than Brock and Goldberg, even I can't deny numbers. I can't deny money. Brock Lesnar brings in money. That's the bottom line. I was discussing this with a guy at work. He doesn't really watch wrestling, but he's familiar. He's a UFC fan and is familiar with Brock Lesnar, and even he is interested in watching Survivor Series Sunday, not for pro wrestling, but just to see Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has, dare I say, that Floyd Money Mayweather drawing power to where people are going to watch just for Floyd. Any boxing event, if Floyd was on it, people are going to watch. WrestleMania 24, Floyd was on that show. Boxing fans are going to watch that just for Floyd. Brock Lesnar, I dare say, has that drawing power to where, okay, Lesnar's on SummerSlam. Okay, well, I'm going to watch that. I want to see him beat Randy Orton's ass. And that's what he did. Survivor Series, same thing. He's on that show. People are going to watch that. Simply just for Lesnar. So I think in that aspect, Vince McMahon is thinking, well, and we're going to get outside talent. I mean, people are going to watch. That's why Vince McMahon impression with the shoulders. And Brock Lesnar, people are strong money. And John Cena's gone. So he's not around. So I need Brock Lesnar in the main event. So yeah, Brock Lesnar's going to main event Survivor Series with Goldberg. And like I said, I could be wrong, and I hope I am. This is going to be a train wreck. When Goldberg showed up to confront Rusev, he slipped doing the jackhammer. He was literally on the ground trying to hold on to Rusev. Rusev was holding Goldberg up while Goldberg slipped for the jackhammer. But he got the jackhammer anyway, which I guess that's impressive. And the thing with Goldberg is I personally am just not a Goldberg fan. I'm happy to see Goldberg back, and I'm happy that Goldberg's family gets to see him wrestle and see him in action because they never saw that before. And when Goldberg returned on Raw, it was a heartwarming moment. It was. Like I said, his wife, his son was in the crowd. It was a heartwarming moment. It made you feel good. It made me feel good to see it. I'm like, all right, Goldberg's back. But it's like, he's going up against Lesnar. And I'm not going to draw this out. I've already ranted long enough. Lesnar's winning, bottom line. Like I said, Lesnar's has more drawing power than Goldberg. I don't care what anybody says. Um, Lesnar's going to win. I mean, it's one of those situations where I just it does nothing. And the thing is, it does nothing for Lesnar to win this match. It really doesn't. But if Goldberg wins, it just destroys everything that Lesnar has built up. I mean, Paul Heyman basically ran down the list of people he's beaten, and even though to this day, I disagree with the decision to defeat the Undertaker at WrestleMania 30, Taker, Cena, two mainstays, Rock back in 2002. I don't know why that's relevant now, but Taker and Cena, same year, two mainstays. Lesnar has defeated. So it just makes me think: Taker, Cena, Orton at SummerSlam, and Goldberg is going to beat Lesnar? Really? Goldberg, the man who hasn't wrestled in 12 years, is going to beat Lesnar when Lesnar laid out the Undertaker, laid out Cena, and laid out Orton. I don't see it. I'm sorry. And if that pisses off any Goldberg fans, I'm not sorry. But Lesnar is winning that match. Will this be as good as WrestleMania 20? Probably not. I can't see it being much worse than WrestleMania 20, but it's going to be a stinker. I'm sorry. It is. Lesnar's probably just going to beat on him like he did Randy Orton. And that match wasn't even all that great either. It just, excuse me, it just wasn't. So that's my prediction. Lesnar's going over. And let's go over these predictions again. Miz, Sami Zayn over, brings the Intercontinental title to Raw. Kalisto over, brings the Cruiserweight title back to SmackDown. 10-man tag team clusterfuck. SmackDown wins. Divas, Raw wins. Because reasons. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Raw wins, as I explained before. I think that Ellsworth is going to get involved in a finish for that. And Brock Lesnar wins. So the way that I have it scored here, and I didn't do this on purpose. It's just my predictions. I basically have Sami Zayn. You know, that's a win for Raw. Kalisto, that's a win for SmackDown. SmackDown tag team. I have it set for Raw to basically win Survivor Series. So that's my overall prediction as far as which brand is going to be superior. I think it is going to be Raw. And as I mentioned earlier, the last encounters that there's been with Raw and SmackDown, all of them, SmackDown has won. So Raw is due for a win in this whole brand war thing. So I'm picking Raw overall. That's how I predicted it. So that's what's going to happen. This has been Warren's Vlog, episode 48, Survivor Series predictions. What I got coming up for you this year? I am still working on the Hell in a Cell video, and I'm going to do that. This is going to take time for me to either go over every single match and just rank them from best to worst. And with Hell in a Cell happening last month, those 3 matches are going to be added onto this list. Not Jericho's list, my list for the Hell in a Cell. I don't want to steal her gimmick. So I have that coming up eventually when I get to it. I'm a procrastinator, but I'm going to do it because it's something I want to do. Survivor Series review is coming your way. Then, as I mentioned, I'm going to try to go to Roadblock later on in December. So that's going to be interesting for me if I am there live because I'll have a live perspective of the show like I did for Fastlane earlier this year. And then we have TLC December 4th because we're going to cram as many pay-per-views as we can. So that's what's coming up. Survivor Series review, TLC prediction, TLC review, Roadblock prediction, Roadblock review. I'll do something nice for New Year's Eve or New Year's, or maybe actually New Year's is when I'm going to try to schedule that Hell in a Cell video that I promised you with the list of from best to worst or from worst to best. Probably gonna go from worst to best, work my way up. So that's what I got coming for you for the rest of the year. I'm Warren Freeman. I'm signing out, and I am 9 minutes over. I wanted to watch Total Divas, and I'm 9 minutes late. Thank goodness for a DVR. So I'm gonna go watch Total Divas now. It's the season premiere tonight, and I'm excited. Don't fucking judge me. You guys have a wonderful night.